Hi Sagittarius, I hope that everybody's doing well. Before we get into the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. So I'm seeing something here connected with your past. 9 of Cups, a wish fulfillment. There's also a focus on, you restoring your energy too. There may be something that you're disconnecting with because you feel it's necessary for you to prioritize yourself currently. Or you're like, you know what, I'm feeling kind of drained. I need to pull back from this thing. I need to like focus on me and what I need right now. I'm seeing 94 here. I get the feeling of wanting to hear from someone. Hoping to hear from someone, wanting to hear from someone. It's like maybe even wanting someone to take the time out from something else. There are a lot of cups here. Interesting. I get the notion of like possibly wanting to hear from somebody, but it seems like if you do, there may be even more confusion if that were to happen. And maybe you also know that too. It's like you may have mixed feelings about something that you want, actually. You may feel a bit conflicted. It's like, it seems like wanting things to go in a particular way with someone or wanting a particular type of relationship. I'm also hearing foundation and potentially being like, what if they reached out to me? Or like I'm thinking about them. But it's like if this person showed up, it wouldn't really make anything more clear to you. It's like you would still feel like just as confused / conflicted as you do now. Maybe even more so. It may bring stuff to the front too. But I'm seeing there still be like a lack of clarity within that process. And because there's no like obvious yes, there's no obvious green light, it may perplex you more than anything. Because you're not sure if this person actually meets your standards. Or maybe you know that they don't, and maybe you don't want to see that. Admit to it. It's like maybe in certain ways it works with this person. Like there's a piqued interest. There's a desire for a reason. But there's also hesitance and you not feeling sure for a reason too, which is not to be discounted. I'm hearing don't let your emotions get the best of you, but I'm not seeing it in a way where like it's not in any way like bad or good or anything to have like an emotional experience. It's more so like don't get so like carried away when it comes to like a fantasy or a wish or something that you're wanting, that you negate other aspects of the dynamic between you and this person and the interaction that are very, very important. I am seeing an emotional connection with this person. I'm seeing this is also not a straightforward situation with them either. It's not a moment where it's like, okay, you have a crush on somebody and then they come through and they're like, I have a crush on you, and then you're like, okay, cool, let's start dating. It's not a situation like that. I'm seeing something very, 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 very complicated and intricate. It's like there are hoops that this person and maybe you would have to jump through in order for this to manifest into something balanced potentially. But I'm seeing there be like a lot that would need to be worked through in order to get to a point where maybe you could see things balancing out between you and this person. Is it bringing you peace? You may be deciding to move away from this in a space where you're like, okay, I know that I have feelings, I know I feel connected to this, and I also know that it's not cultivating peace within my life, so I'm not going to stick around for it. And you may decide again to move on. It seems like for your emotional well-being that you would be doing this. That's what the High Priestess is saying. This is part of your healing journey. I'm seeing Taurus next to the Queen of Cups here. I'm also seeing the Moon. I'm seeing the High Priestess be like, you have mixed feelings for a reason, pay attention. As I said before, or if it were an obvious yes, if there were an obvious green light, you would know. And there's not, and that's telling you something. It shouldn't be this complicated. It's like if it worked, it wouldn't be this complicated, more specifically. It's like when you reflect on that, what do you see? Pay attention to that. What is it that you're feeling? Because that tension, that lack of ease, that lack of flow, that frustration, that is meant to tell you that something is not working. Not in a way that's in alignment with what it is that you want. There's something even mismatched with the values here. Or even ideals. Or even like the equality within a relationship. And that's also the thing as well, too. It's like in reflecting, you recognize like, hey, this is what I want, and that's not what's happening here. That's not what's been happening. And I do have standards, like, and maybe that's also hard too, because it's like when you recognize and are like clear when it comes to your standards and your desires and your expectations, it means that you have a better idea as well of like what works for you and what doesn't. And maybe it's hard to admit that a situation is not actually, it doesn't fit within that framework for you. So will we honor that and do what needs to be done? A lot about mulling this situation over quietly and to yourself, to touch base and connect with what you're feeling and what your guidance is, in order to allow you to make a decision that feels empowering, one where you feel like you're honoring yourself, where you're holding space for yourself, your actions in alignment with your needs. Synthesizing your yin and yang energy. I'm seeing an emphasis again on you focusing on what it is that you want, on your standards, on your desires, what is ideal for you within a relationship. What are you looking for? It's about creating that blueprint and keeping that fresh in your mind. I'm also seeing you working with yourself, searching for something deeper. Not getting tripped up by your attachments. Not being fooled by the way something is wrapped, but really going down deep. Getting to the bottom of things. It seems also like this balance that's taking place of when to receive and when to take, when to give, when to allow, and doing this dance. I get something about, with the devil, I'm seeing this be some sort of illusion. Because we can say in a way that when one looks at the 3D as it being quite literal and loses that perspective of the 3D actually being like quite symbolic and metaphorical. There's like a loss of insight and perspective and zooming out, and it seems like this is something that you're trying to like integrate back into what it is that you're doing, to like be creative with the energies that you're working with, and also quite resourceful, and not being it's like I'm hearing something about not buying into consumerism, but I'm seeing this be more so like the things that society tells you. It's like who you belong with and what you're meant to do, and like these social norms and societal norms that we feel like we must like align with, rather than listening to our intuition and hearing what actually does resonate with us or not. I'm even getting something about like not being fed by the system. So yeah, it looks like this is something that you've been working with, something that you're getting into. To find a way to even like best deal with this energy. It seems too like being something for yourself. Because there may be something, you may be in a place where it's like you found somebody that you connect with, and you may be having a hard time letting go of them because in your mind you're like, we had a past life together, or like this is my divine masculine or my divine feminine, like whoever it is that you feel in a way like this person compliments you, and it's like meanwhile it's clear that these things are not working out. It's clear you're being guided to like really reflect on this and look into it and see what's going on beneath, and ask yourself like, is what's happening with this person really resonating with me? And also recognizing too that you are not just a divine feminine or a divine masculine. You are both of those things. And so when we integrate that, instead of buying into this illusion that we're separate, we don't feel like we're lacking anymore, because we recognize that we're whole and complete. Whether we're single, whether we're in a relationship, whether we're in something in between, that has nothing to do with you being complete. They're not related to one another. So going back to what's going on here, you having mixed feelings, something to pay attention to. Because if you know something is right for you, you're going to know right away. You feeling conflicted, also something to pay attention to. Because something related to expectations, standards, values, beliefs, something is out of whack when it comes to you and this person. Even if in a way you wish to hear from them and build something with them and connect with them. But the more you're dancing with the devil and buying into something that that loses its like even spiritual component, because we are taking things so literally, it is going to create more grief that we're going to need to move through because of being out of touch. What I'm getting to is that like your aim may be for something higher. However, the components, like what you are using to create that, like the ingredients, it's not going to be able to like obtain what it is that you are looking to obtain. And this may be related to like this specific person. It's like if it were a different person, you would be able to like manifest this ideal relationship that you're looking for, but because of this person being involved, it's like something can't reach like the height that you want it to reach. Like it seems like the relationship is unable to ascend, and that means it's not meant for you, if you see it that way. But if you don't see it that way, then it is meant for you. It's all about your perspective. But if you don't want to be in something that's not working, then you're going to decide this isn't for you. But if you want to stay within that space of like resistance and blockages and a lack of flow, then that is what you stay in. And that is what you are like signing up for to stay within. And so again, it is for you. But it's all a decision, and it's all what you decide. It's like waiting for this person to commit, waiting for this person to like grow up for some of you. It even seems like they may be able to paint a pretty picture, but is it going to materialize? Because it even seems like if you're buying into something, it's like, are you just listening to words, or are you paying attention to actions and what's energetically going on? Because if you're turning a blind eye, it seems very much like you may actually be like watering seeds to just end up disappointed and feeling like a sense of loss at the end of it all anyway, which may be something underlying subconsciously even that you're already feeling. But it's just about like what happens when you're ready for it to happen, what you're prepared for, what you're aware of. But yeah, it seems the more you work with like this person, the more you collaborate within this collaboration that is out of alignment, the more you are like manifesting and creating for you to feel this way. Unsettled, unhappy, upset, feeling like things aren't right, feeling out of sorts, not feeling in the flow of things. All right. I'm looking at Taurus, the moon, Virgo, Pluto, Venus, Aries. I'm also hearing Mars, Capricorn, and Mercury. Okay, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.